Everybody listen to We're Not Wizards, because we are the best, and we're not wizards, no matter what anybody says. Goodbye.
Hello and welcome to another episode of We're Not Wizards. My name's Richard. I'll be your host for June, just because it's almost the end of June already. Can you believe it? Now, way back, and this is how quickly the time goes, is way back like about 2 months ago. I had a pair of handy Andes on the show from the Glasgow Games group. So I had Mr. Andy Bussey and I had a Mr. Andy Paul. And they were, as I say, they're from the Glasgow Games group, and they were going to talk about the Glasgow Games Gathering. So we had a conversation, we had a chat. I tried to be funny. Didn't work. But anyway, the Glasgow Games Gathering is pretty much going to be starting in the next couple of days. It's actually this weekend. And if you listen to this, it's actually the Saturday that's about to happen just now. So we thought we get Andy back on. Unfortunately, we've only got one of them. So we've lost a hand, as you would say. But we do have an Andy Bussey. So hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good. Thank you for having us back on.
That's all right.
For me, I'm flying solo this time. So
I didn't know if you were using the kind of the royal we.
Well, when I said that obviously you'd invited us back on, and whether Andrew Paul would like to join me again. He said, he didn't think he'd be able to make it this time, so I said that's fine. I'll just go on myself, and I can start claiming all the credit now.
So he came up with a kind of a relatively kind of good excuse. I think it was something like, "Well, it's really sunny out. The sun is shining, and I'd rather not sit indoors while it's nice. And is that the ice cream van? So you."
Well, it is
out the door for a cheeky 99.
Yeah, it's it's like in Scotland. It's this kind of burning yellow eye appears in the sky, and nobody's quite sure what it is because we don't see it very often.
I don't know whether to kind of like stare at it in awe or start to worship it. To be honest, it's the as we know, it's the god of flakes, as we like to call it, because I'm out there for half an hour, and then the next thing I know, basically my skin peels like I'm some kind of Scottish snowstorm.
Yeah.
Well, we can go back a bit and remind ourselves of the episode of Rab C. Nesbitt, which we're going to have this conversation, and considering a lot of our listeners are in America, they're not going to get this. But do you remember the episode when Rab went to Spain?
Oh, yes.
He ended up getting really, really badly sunburnt, like bright pink. And he got so badly burnt, he was standing on the balcony, and Mary Doll was brushing the flakes off his shoulders. And the couple underneath were going, "Look, damn, it's a miracle." Because they thought it was snowing in the Algarve or something like that. So there you go. So now that we've successfully alienated most of our listeners across in America and other such places with that, with exotic references to BBC Scotland, because we have actually a TV. We've got now a channel. apparently. There's a BBC
Yeah,
Scotland channel.
yeah,
So
there is.
oh,
There's now a channel. Not that I've really seen much on it, I think, but I keep getting told there's a channel. So I don't know. It's on the internet. It must be true.
I don't know. I kind of watch it like the same way that you watch. It's like when you're 13 years old and you're watching the telly, and then there's some kind of slightly sexy scene comes on the telly, and you're sitting there with your parents. I kind of sometimes watch it kind of through slight squint, because there's a kind of this is somebody Scottish doing something. Are they going to sound annoying? Nah, they can't possibly sound annoying. And then they end up sounding a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but we don't mind. What's mood like in camp then? How's things going at the 3Gs?
Mood in camp is generally good. We're pretty excited about the show. Obviously, we're really. I think we're really actually quite proud of what we managed to do for our first show. You know, we've got 40 traders. We've got about more than 30 games on offer. The majority of which the public can come and participate in. So for a first show, we're pretty proud of this achievement, I think. Obviously, there is some a bit of kind of nervousness. It's see how many people will turn up on the day. But we've been pushing it pretty hard. You know, we've had flyers out in stores. We've obviously been pushing the Facebook event through social media, all these kind of things. Folks like yourselves have graciously allowed us to come on and waffle for a wee while on your podcast to try and help get the word out to. And we've gone more traditional routes as well. We've taken out an advert and miniature wargaming and things like these. So I mean, I think it's at that stage now. I think we've pretty much done all we can in terms of to see whether people will now turn up and get the word out about it. So I think it's now just really we've got a few wee bits and pieces just to tidy up, and then obviously set up on Friday night. But yeah, generally mood in camp is pretty good. I think after 6 o'clock on Saturday, it might be a slightly knackered, pretty good. But I think we're all hopeful that it'll be successful enough that we could run it again next year.
So you mentioned you've got a fair number of traders, and I'm not expecting you to go through the kind of the full list. But do you want to give us maybe a flavour of some of the people that are going to be kind of going along, going to be turning up? If people turn up, who they can kind of expect to see?
Yeah, sure. So we've got some like really big traders that if you're into miniature gaming or gaming in general, you'll know about. We've got things like Warlord Games, who are obviously very well known for all the kind of bolt action, Gates of Antares things. We've got Sarissa Precision, who are very well known for their MDF scenery, and they're also tying in well a lot with like Footsore and War Banner for the Mortal Gods and Gangs of Rome range. We've got Pendraken Miniatures, who do a lot of kind of a lot of different scales, a lot of 10mm stuff, and been around for quite a long time. We've got we've also got a few kind of more local guys as well. We've got things like we've got Dream Big Games, Mark McKinnon, who's recently run his Kickstarter for Wreck and Ruin.
He's actually his official title now is Mark McKinnon of Fully Funded Wreck and Ruin fame.
Is that his official? I'll remember that for Saturday.
He went to the DVLA and he got his driver's license changed, and I believe he's in the middle of getting his passport done as well. And interestingly enough, his passport photo and his driver's license photo, he's going to be wearing those steampunk.
Oh, those big goggles he wears.
Yes, that's official.
That'd be great.
Fine.
That'd be great.
So
he's coming along. We've got a guy who comes to our club actually, who runs Funky Skull Games, and he also does Flags of War.
All right.
So, which is a miniature game. He does kind of historical miniatures on one side with Flags of War, kind of Jacoby and all these kind of things, and then as Funky Skull Games, he's got a game out where it's kind of 1960s, 1970s New York gang warfare, a la the kind of
okay.
Warriors movie, all these kind of
Yeah.
things. We've got some great. We've got One Free Elephant as well. They're coming along. We've
Are you
got.
getting both of 1-3 Elephant? Are you getting Nigel and Sarah? Or are you just getting graced with? Are you getting both of them going to be there?
I think we're getting both. I couldn't swear to this. I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to say, but I think we might be getting both. I'm not sure. So,
Well, that's all right. That's
um,
all right. Because
um,
they'll be bringing along. They're going to be bringing along like microbrew.
yeah, so
I
they'll be
take it they're
bringing
going
along.
to.
Obviously, they've got Microbrew or some Carcosa,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
they make a really good range of kind of wee small games. I've got Awesome myself. It's really good. There's quite a few guys
Oh
at the
yeah,
club
yeah.
picking up Microbrew.
Yes.
So we've got Bad Cat Games as well. I think their Kickstarter for Gladiatores is just finishing up, and that's fully funded.
It's
So they'll be
fully,
able to try that out.
fully funded.
And he's
I'm
done really
really
well in
delighted
that
for
as
Justin.
well.
Yeah,
So
he got
um,
he got like I think he got them, was it most liked badge on Kickstarter or something. He got something that he was
yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
but I know that he was on the show recently to talk
right,
about it.
okay,
So
yeah,
he was talking about kind of going back on and kind of picking yourself up and kind of going back on Kickstarter an awful lot stronger. So it's
yeah, yeah.
good to see him there. Cool.
Yeah. So, and we've got a whole load of other traders as well. We've got like local retailers like West End Games, which is in
Mm.
Glasgow. They do like a lot of card and role play games. We've got Common Ground Games from Stirling, all these
All
kind of
right.
things. So we've got a good range of options there. Yeah.
When you were because when we spoke, you were. I mean, even 2 months ago, I think you were kind of in the middle of. You were in that uneasy bit where you'd obviously had names you could say, but you couldn't.
Mm.
You didn't want to be 100% and say definitely all these people are coming along because
Yeah, yeah.
obviously things can change. Was it quite easy? Have this being your first time, was it quite easy for you to get people to kind of turn up and things like that in terms of the traders? I guess it was there not? I take it there wasn't a huge sales pitch you had to give to the
Uh,
likes of One Free Elephant and that.
There wasn't a massive sales pitch. A lot of them seemed quite keen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, especially on the miniature gaming side,
Mm-hmm.
there was a show here called Wappenshaw previously,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always kind of generally well attended. So although it was quite a small show, it generally had a reasonably good attendance by the public.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the traders kind of remembered that and they thought, well, yes, we'd like a Glasgow show.
Mm-hmm.
We've also had a lot of help from Falkirk District Wargaming Society, who organised
Right.
the Carronade show.
Yes.
We're very friendly with them. They've given us a lot of pointers, and also what they've done is because obviously they've been running Carronade for quite a few years now, and they're actually at that stage where they quite often have a waiting list of traders.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of these traders that are on the waiting list, they've said to them, well, look, there's also this Glasgow show coming up.
All
Contact
right.
them, see if they've got space. And we've had a few people come to us say, oh, we got your name from one of the guys at Falkirk. We're inquiring about space. So,
Yeah.
but some of the other guys as well, like we've got Redwell Games coming up as well.
Tom.
They're running, Tom from Redwell. So, and when we contacted him, he said, "Oh, great. Oh, thanks for thinking about this type of thing." So yeah, it's generally been quite well received. Obviously, we've tried to make it as attractive as possible. We're quite honest in that we're coming from more of a miniature gaming background. So
Yeah.
probably the traders this year are certainly skewed towards that. But we're certainly
Yeah.
trying to accommodate, other types of gaming, board gaming and role playing, all these kind of things. Because at the end of the day, we all do them. There's a good balance of it at our club. So So it's something we wanted to try and make sure, not just make it a wargaming show or a miniature gaming show. We wanted to try and appeal to a broader audience, because at the end of the day, we all get together to play games, whether that be with little toy soldiers or wooden meeples, or a character sheet and some D20s. So yeah.
Have you had a time to get some games done, or has there been a lot more kind of concentration on kind of with the show? Are you still managing to get kind of stuff to the table over the last couple of weeks anyway?
Yeah. We're still managing. I'm still managing to get stuff to the table. I was down at. I even managed some time to go down to UK Games Expo a few weeks ago. Well, more than a few weeks ago now. But yeah, so we're still managing to get time to get to the table. We quite often try and have our meetings kind of outside club time, so that we can all do it. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to still enjoy gaming. That's why we all come together, as I say.
Mm-hmm. How was the UK Games Expo then? Was it good fun?
UK Games Expo is fantastic. I think it's there's such a good vibe about it. I think where everybody's just there to play games and talk to each other and discover new games and all these kind of things. I mean, we played when we were there. We went for the whole 3 days. It was two of my friends and myself and my wife, and one of my friends picked up Outer Rim, the new Fantasy Flight game.
Have you had a chance to get that to the table? Yeah.
Yeah. We played it on Friday night at UK Games Expo. He pre-ordered it and he picked it up on the Friday, and we played it in the Hilton on Friday night. And as one of my friends said, it was a little bit like being a rock star, because you had all these people going by going, "Is that Outer Rim?" It's like, yeah, it is. And it's like, "Oh, what's it like?" And it's like, "Oh, it's really good." So
were you not tempted to just kind of go? And this is me because I'm a horrible person. You tend to say, "Well, I did kind of help design it, so do you want my photo? Do you want my copy?
Do you want to sign your copy?
Can you imagine that? Do you imagine that? Somebody would be getting back to their house and they'd be going about the groups. Look what I got out of Rim. Wow, is it good? It doesn't matter if it's good or not. Look, it's signed. Who's Andy? Andy Bussey.
Who's this guy? He didn't have anything to do with it.
Who's that? I can't even see it with the credits. He's got a photograph. Goes back to his Twitter feed, and it's like somebody's actually commented underneath. Oh, see, Andy's having a good time. So, what did you think of it? Because I've heard positive things. I've heard a lot of excitement. I've heard some people say, well, the Star Wars branding kind of allows it to get away with a few things that if it didn't have the IP, then it maybe wouldn't. But I've heard all in all, it's one of these games that if somebody had it and said, what we're playing tonight, it would be like, we're playing that. There'd be no question, because I've heard it's very, 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 very good fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of good fun. There's been a good amount of kind of thought put into it and carrying forward that kind of Star Wars theme, even into the small details, like the kind of the standees for the characters are shaped like Sabak cards, which is obviously that kind of very scoundrelly thing to do, because it's obviously all based on kind of the rogues and the scoundrels at the edges of the galaxy trying to basically turn a bit of cash while avoiding the attention of the various factions. There's been, certainly if you only ever watched the movies, you would recognise a good amount of it, but then there's more in it as well. They've drawn from things like they've drawn from Rogue One. They've also drawn from like the Rebels cartoon. They've drawn from some of the video games and the comic book series and all these kind of things. So you've got your kind of famous heavy hitters like Lando and Han Solo and Chewbacca and all these kind of things, but you've also got like Hera Syndulla from the Rebels cartoon, and you've got Jyn Erso from Rogue One and all these kind of things. So there's a lot in it. It's not a horribly complicated game to pick up. Once you've played it a few turns, you'll pretty much know what you're doing. Everybody's got the same objective. You basically have to garner a certain amount of fame, which kind of depends on how long a game you want to play. But you can all have slightly different ways of going about that. So the easiest way is doing jobs and bounties and all that, and everybody can do that. But everybody has their personal goal, which will get you a little bit of fame as well. So I was playing on Tuesday night at the club there, and I was IG88, and his personal goal was to gain 2 droid crew members, and then that gets him fame, and things like Boba Fett is to hunt down bounties and kind of things.
I always thought IG88's goal was to find a hat that fits. Because the boy's got a big head.
He does have a big head. The random piece of Star Wars trivia for this evening is IG88's head was made out of one of the drinks dispensers from the cantina scene in the first film.
You total nerd. That's amazing. I love it.
I know. I think it was just, obviously, back then they didn't have as much of a budget. It's just like, we need to make this robot-looking guy. We'll use that.
That's absolutely...
a random cop flying around, so.
That's absolutely amazing. I didn't know that. But mine's actually, I'm quite, I think just for coming out with facts like that, I mean, even if you're down in London and you're not doing anything this weekend, you owe it to Andy with that Star Wars trivia to be getting yourself up to,
I think so.
to the venue. Are people pre-ordering kind of tickets for the day, or are they buying kind of tickets kind of on the door?
All tickets will be sold on the door. We haven't done a pre-order system. We've just, because the price is actually quite cheap. It's £3 on the door, or or £1 for under 16s. So we haven't gone for a pre-order system this year. Again, it's something we'd maybe like to do in future years, especially if we go down the avenue such as some game shows, like where they, like maybe Salute and things like these, where they offer you a kind of a goodie bag type thing for the first X number of people going through the door. I know some shows have started to do this. I think as well, as it's obviously our first year, we wanted to kind of keep it reasonably kind of simple. So I think this is why we've decided not to have a few things that, again, you maybe see at most game shows, like a bring and buy. We unfortunately don't have one this year, or things like open play space.
It's such a, to be honest with you though, the bring and buy is such a huge thing to organise, and it only takes a couple of little mistakes, and people, are going kind of. I know the UK Games Expo. I know that, with thousands of people that were there, I know there was a couple of the vocal few that said they had discovered that their game boxes had been opened, and a couple of components were missing on the stuff that they hadn't sold.
Right.
But you've got it's such a big thing to manage, and I think there's a lot of preparation in it. I know that Tabletop Scotland did it, but they had folk there they had to have folk managing it all the time, and making sure everybody was there. And Aircon did it as well, and it was even bigger, and it's quite overwhelming.
It can be a difficult thing. Yeah. I think in all honesty, if we do a bring and buy, we'll probably go down the line of what they do at Carronade, which is, rather than have a manned bring and buy similar to Tabletop Scotland, whatever, where you hand in your items and they effectively sell them for you. We would do it where at Carronade, what they run is they basically have a room with, I think there's something like 30 odd 6x2 tables, and you hire a table for, I think they break it into 4 slots or 3 slots for, it's a £2-3 for a slot, and that can get you one 6x2 table, or you can have more if you want. And basically they operate it as a flea market. So it takes a lot less staff to operate, obviously on their side, and obviously you take away that thing of you're effectively looking after someone else's goods. So as you say, if you end up in the problem of, oh well, somebody's opened my box and this isn't complete anymore, and it was complete this morning, and it hasn't sold because it's missing items now, or and also it means that people can go up and haggle with the person. You know, you can directly deal with the person selling you the item, rather than, again, I know some bring in buys where they'll basically say, you know, you put in two prices and they drop all the
Yeah.
prices after, say, 2 o'clock or something like that if the show's
Yeah.
closing at
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it lets you go up and directly deal with the person. So I think that's quite a nice way of running things. And I think if we move into a bring and buy in future years, I think that's probably something we'd look to do, rather than the more, as I say, the more traditional kind of turn up and hand in your goods and we'll sell them for you at a table, basically. So,
Has there been any kind of admin stuff, health and safety stuff, legislative stuff you weren't aware of that you've had to kind of get sorted out, kind of in the last couple of months as well?
Yeah, there have been a few things actually. A few things we didn't really anticipate when we went into when we decided to run a show. First of all, we had to apply for a market license through Glasgow City Council.
No, right.
Because we're running a market effectively for a day. So we've had to go through that. Thankfully, it's not a huge amount, but it wasn't a huge amount of hassle. You know, we filled out the form, we completed it, and then you submit it. But the problem came, you know, it kind of, you submit it to the council and you don't hear anything for a long time as it makes its way through the kind of labyrinthian maze of council administration. And you're sitting there going, are we going to be denied a license or not? But I can say that, you know, we've successfully managed that. There's various terms and conditions, but they're reasonably standard, so they should be fine. Also, the other thing we didn't think about, well, we didn't anticipate originally was, but we've again had to do, was we've had to look at public liability insurance. Because obviously, you know, if we put a chair down and somebody trips over that, anything like these. So it's just, you know, it's just the part of it is the venue will only cover so much. Obviously, they'll cover any flaws in their things, but, you know, anything else would fall on us. So we just have to. So that was something we just didn't anticipate at the time. But we've managed. You know, it's a learning experience. As I say, there's been various people helping us out quite a lot. We've had feedback from the traders at times regarding things like the stall sizes and positions of bays and all these kind of things. We've had, as I say, a lot of help from the club over at Falkirk.
Yes.
There's been help as well from some of the local Glasgow clubs who used to organise the previous Wappenshaw game show, all these kind of things. So, and hopefully that means that if we do it next year, that it'll be a bit of a smoother experience for us, and for everybody else involved, you know, because we've realised various things that we could improve about this to try and make it easier on traders booking, all these kind of things. So
yeah. Is it giving you kind of like a new sense of respect for, you know, what the guys are doing at like Carronade and Tabletop Scotland, you know, and places like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, it has given me a lot more respect for, you know, the guys at Carronade, all these kind of things. You know, I mean, they've been running that. I think that was their 13th year this year, so they've been going at that for quite a long time. I mean, the guys at Tabletop Scotland to go from their first show to run effectively an entire weekend over from 4 whole days. You know, from Sunday into half a Sunday, from Saturday into half a Sunday. You know, it's a big undertaking. I mean, I remember talking about the guy I managed to meet the guy, well, one of the team who organises UK Games Expo actually at the Glasgow Games Festival last year, and we were chatting away to him. Because he also runs a small games company, Medusa Games.
He does, yeah, Richard Denning.
Yeah. So we were chatting to Richard, and he was saying, you know, it's now actually got to that stage where effectively UK Games Expo has become his full-time job. It's now grown to a stage where, you know, it requires that. So. And certainly, I've heard other things from other people, and in some ways, this is the problem of your show gets so big that, you know, it effectively becomes a full-time job organising it, but it can't actually pay you a salary for that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's
and
like when you get to it's like Mark Cook at Aircon. I mean, they seem to be getting bigger and bigger, and the
yeah.
people that they're kind of bringing on and everything like that. But I think you're right. You kind of get to a point where you've effectively got to take like 8 weeks out of your life,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's just to kind of like mad scramble around to do
yes,
everything. Or as you
yeah, yeah,
say, if you're trying to do it throughout the year, you're gonna like use up a lot of your personal time over the weekend trying to kind of
yeah, yeah,
try and get things kind of
yeah.
sorted out.
So yeah, so I mean, it's certainly given us, I think, a new respect as to the people who've done this, especially the people who, successfully do this every year. As I say, like the guys at Carronade, they've been doing that 13 years. Well, UK Games Expo, that was 13 years now, and they've went from starting I think they started in a Masonic Hall somewhere, and now they're something like the third biggest show in the world.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's yeah, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. So I think more than you think when you think, oh, let's organise a game show. How hard could it be?
It's famous last words.
Yeah, famous last words. Yeah.
It's like that. It's not going to be in your grave. I'm going to let somebody else organise my funeral, if you don't mind. Um, for people who maybe missed kind of venues and stuff like that kind of last time, where's the venue? What's it like in terms of, say, parking, busing, training to get into
Yeah.
it? If people are coming from, obviously there'll be a fair smattering of people coming from around about the Glasgow area, but if folk are travelling from out with the area, where are you roughly, and
Yeah.
how easy is it to get into the place?
Yeah. So we are at the Bellahouston Leisure Centre, or if you look on Google Maps, it comes up as Glasgow Club Bellahouston. It's really easy to get to by car. It's literally 2 minutes from the M8 junction 24, heading east or west. We've actually got
All right.
videos as well on our website. We've one of the guys recorded videos of him driving to and from the venue from both directions. So we've got those.
Oh,
Car parking wise, there is 190 spaces at the venue. But
oh,
obviously, this will be
excellent.
an active venue for other people. Obviously there are other
Yes.
gyms. There is a swimming pool. All these kind of things.
Mm.
So those can fill up fast. There is, however, lots of on-street parking as well, and the streets directly round about it. That's all free. It's not permitted at all. So that's really easy to get to. There is also there's two train stations nearby. Probably about 15 minutes walk. There is,
Excellent.
I think there's Moss Park and Hillington East and Cardonald and Corker Hill. They're all quite close to it. So as I say, they're
Excellent.
probably about 15 minutes walk. And also it's 2 seconds from, it's quite a large street in here. It's Paisley Road West, which has a lot of buses. I think
Yeah.
specifically the main bus route that runs up and down Paisley Road West is the number 7, which basically
Oh,
runs from the city centre straight out to Paisley
yeah.
Road West, and then you can get
Oh,
off
cool.
there, and it's right there. Basically, it'll be about a minute walk. It's basically just straight through the front doors, and then on the left you'll see the main sports hall, which is where we're located. So.
That
Um,
sounds excellent.
so yeah. I mean, it's quite a good venue for a first show. It seems a reasonable location in terms of parking, accessibility, all these kind of things, and the amount of space that's available. Because obviously that's always the problem, is the premium, is the space. So
Yeah. Cool. So it's £3 on the door and £1 if you're under the age of 60. Or was it they saying if you're lucky enough to look under the age of 16 kind of thing? It's a
if you're lucky
single
enough
pound.
to look under the age of
Uh,
16, it's £1. Must be accompanied by an adult. So
Excellent. And it's running from doors
it's
open. Is
running.
it 10 o'clock they
Doors
open?
open at 10 o'clock. Doors open at 10 o'clock till
Uh-huh.
4 o'clock on Saturday. Um,
Excellent.
So there is various facilities obviously on site. There's disabled access, there's toilets, there is a cafe as well, all these kind of things. Along with the traders and the demo tables, we'll be running a raffle for various prizes. That'll be taking place at 2:30 in the afternoon. We're raising money for Macmillan Cancer.
Excellent.
And also we will be running a kind of gamer passport card, which everybody will be given one when they come through the door. Basically, what you'll do is there'll be 5 slots on that card. 2 of those will be for purchases, 2 of those will be for demo games, and 1 will be for either or. And you get stickers on that. So the way you get stickers is you can, on your purchase slots, you make a purchase at a trader. Any purchase over £10 qualifies. So one purchase over £10 gives you 1 sticker. Demo games, basically play a demo game and you'll be given a sticker. Once you've got all 5 stickers on your card, you just put your name on that, hand that in there'll be a box at the front desk, put that in there, and then again at the same time at the raffle at 2:30 in the afternoon, winners will be drawn from that, where basically you can win a voucher to spend at a trader of your choice. So
that sounds excellent.
So basically the idea is, do what we do anyway, buy things, play games, and hopefully you can win. So
that sounds fantastic. As I can only wish you the best of luck. I hope it goes kind of extremely well. As I say, if you're listening to this just now, and if you are in the area and you're looking for something to do for a good couple of hours, then venture over, come and say hello. I take it you're going to be kind of about kind of making sure everybody's kind of happy and looked after, yeah?
Most certainly, yeah. Myself, the rest of the committee, we've got a good helping of volunteers as well from our club, who've all said that they will help pitch in, run the front desk, etc. during the day. We'll all be there. If anybody is unsure, if anybody needs a bit of help, find one of the people. Either go to our front desk, or you'll see one of our staff members walking around. We've all got high vis vests that say G3 staff on the back of them. So if you find one of them, they'll either be able to help you, or they'll be able to point you in the direction of someone who can help you. But yeah, because at the end of the day, we're there to make sure that people have a great time, and that hopefully everybody comes back next year, and we can see this show grow from year to year and go from strength to strength.
Absolutely. If people want to check out and get some more information online, where can we find you on the interweb nets? Okay,
so you can go to our website, which is g3gamers.co.uk. That's got a tab for the show, and that'll tell you all about the show. That'll tell you kind of directions, any frequently asked questions we've had. We're putting those up there. That'll also give you a full list of the traders that are coming to the show, along with links to their websites where we have them, and a description as to what they sell. And it'll also give you a list of all the clubs that are coming to the show, and some of the great games that we're going to be putting on. We've got things like we've got some of the local clubs like the Glasgow Tradesman Club coming along doing an American Civil War skirmish. We've got Scottish Wildlings coming along running 9th Age battles. We've got some really big games. We've got Tiffin Games who are coming along trying to run one of the UK's largest games of if you remember this, if you know the Steve Jackson game Ogre.
Yes.
So he's trying to run one of the largest games in the UK of that. We've also got Asmodee coming along. They're sending along a great team of volunteers to run various board games, from more games maybe aimed at a newer gamer, from things like Dobble, and then moving up, you've got things like the new Ticket to Ride London. You've got the new Pandemic game, Rapid Response. So we've got all that going on. So yeah. So that's all listed on our website, yeah. Or if you look through G3 Gamers on Facebook, that should bring you to that'll bring you to our show. That'll bring you to our main kind of page, and from there you can find links to our group chat page and all these kind of things. And we are also on Twitter as well. So
there you go. Well, as normal and as last time, we will take all of these links and we'll put them in the show notes so that we have got notes to show. If you want to keep an eye on what we're up to, go to the internet, search We're Not Wizards, you'll find us. You know, we're established, as they would say. If you want to help us out, tell somebody else about the show. Even if you don't like them, if you want to torture them, do that. You know, get them listening to us for 45 minutes. Obviously not Andy, because Andy's been pleasant and wonderful. But, you know, me instead, quite annoying, bit brash, etc., etc., etc. Or you can jump onto Apple Podcasts and you can drop us a subscription, or you can drop us a rating or a review. If you are going to be giving us a rating or a review, don't give us 10 stars, because my ego's bad enough as it is, but don't give us 1 star, because it can be bruised, as they would say. Give us something in the middle, like a 5, you know, because it's average, and I'm just a little bit average. But the person who's not been average tonight, rather wonderful, rather fantastic. The man who's excited and he's probably pacing up and down the room with anticipation. It's Mr. Andy Bussey. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me back on.
And as I say, I can only wish you best of luck. I can only wish you best of luck with the event. It sounds like it's fantastic, and hopefully this is going to be the first of many to come as well. There's only a couple of things. Good. There's only a couple of things to do. The first thing, as always, is to remember that we are many things, but we're not wizards. Are we wizards, Andy?
I can confirm, now being my second appearance, that I'm still not a wizard.
That's very, very good and a very, very correct answer. And the second thing is to say goodbye. So it's a goodbye from Andy. Say goodbye, Andy.
Goodbye, Andy.
And it's a goodbye from me. Remember, stay safe, roll 6s, make something awful. But until the next time, well, you know, as I say, if you're kicking about in Glasgow or Saturday, or if you're not kicking about in Glasgow and you fancy doing something a little bit different, a little bit wargamey, a little bit fun, then get yourself along to the Glasgow Games Gathering, 10 until 4, and very, very reasonable prices. But until the next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.